You love your car, but does it love you back? Introducing the Fasten Rewards Visa Card. With the Fasten card, you get rewarded for all your auto-related spending, including monthly car loan or lease payments. That's 3 times points when you shop with Fasten partners, 2 times points on car payments, gas, tolls, insurance, car washes, and 1 times point on everything else. Stack up rewards and turn them into travel, cash, gift cards, maintenance, or even a down payment on your next car. Founded by a UConn fan. Apply now at fasten.cc/apply and buckle up for rewards. The Fasten Rewards Visa card is powered by High Note and issued by Celtic Bank, pursuant to a license by Visa USA Inc. All cards are subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. Rewards are subject to change. Visit fasten.cc/legal for full program details. Excited to have Joe back with us on the podcast. Joe, UConn win, Chargers win. Pretty good weekend for you.
Good weekend for sure. 2-0.
So let's start with the easy one here. Obviously, you coming off the back-to-back overtime losses on the road. You get to come home, play at the rent. How was it getting to be back at home and having a home game to help get things back on track here?
It's always great to get back into the Ren. Get to play in front of some of the home fans. So that's always a good feeling. So yeah, it was good to get back into that rhythm of just being at home, getting to play in front of some of our great fans and getting a win.
I always am curious just about, and this is a random one, but about the start times of games. 3:30 game time. How do you like that? Middle of the day, you like that kind of start time?
Uh, I'll, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm indifferent about it. I like a noon game. I like it being
Yeah.
early. I like waking up and just getting going
Yeah.
personally.
No, I'm with you. I don't like waiting throughout the day. Let's get the thing over nice and early. So you get back home, things from an offensive standpoint. I know we talked about some of the areas of focus, from an offensive standpoint last week, and I think you guys hit on a bunch of them this week. How do you feel just overall from an offensive performance that you guys performed this week?
I was really proud of the way we came out in the second half. Um, I don't know exactly for sure, but I think we scored on almost every drive. I think there was one there with a penalty that we didn't score on, and then obviously taking the knees at the end. But to be able to go out and execute every drive, um, we really wanted to focus on finishing the game and finishing in the red zone, which we still could have improved a little bit, but that was a big emphasis for us. So it was good to get that done. And I thought we could have started a little bit faster. I mean, it starts with me, and then as offense a whole, I think we just need to still put together 4 full quarters,
Yeah.
which is an exciting thing because we've been able to put up some points, but we still feel like we haven't played our best game. So we're always looking to improve, and just going into next week, hoping we can build on a win.
Yeah, I know last week you talked a big area of focus was on the execution and being able to finish. This week, 5 for 5 on fourth downs. We'll kind of look at this from like a two-part question here. So the first part here is like, how do you think you improved upon that execution that you were so successful on those opportunities this week when the game mattered or when the plays really mattered on those fourth down plays?
Yeah, that was just it's going back to just fundamentals and doing your job. Everybody doing their 1 of 11th, and I think we were able to kind of take a deep breath there on those fourth downs and just realize we got to get the job done. And it was really good to see. I think that gives confidence in coaches and in the players that if we need to make a play and if we're kind of in the middle on a decision that fourth down, the offense can't stay on the field and hopefully get it. So I think we proved that. But on the flip side of that, it's like what do we got to do better to stay out of fourth down? We got to we got to be better on first and second down to be in shorter third down distances, or do we just have to execute better on third down? So there's always two
Yeah.
sides to things. So yeah.
Does that give you, though, as a player, some more confidence in the offense, knowing that the coaching staff is trusting you in those fourth down opportunities to go out there and make a play and keep things going versus punting or kicking?
No doubt, no doubt. Moore always says that though. He's an aggressive coach and he believes in us. And we always go into the game knowing that Coach Moore is gonna, you know, if it's close or if he thinks that the offense is kind of moving, and he's always gonna trust us to go make that play. So we just have to continue to, you know, like I said earlier, execute on fourth down, but try to stay out of fourth down.
Yeah. Um, just kind of looking through that game, I've got to ask, did you ever think you'd be involved in a Sports Center top play? That pass and catch by Nieder there took the top spot the other day.
Um, it's definitely always a dream as a kid when you grow up in the morning. I still remember in the morning watching the top plays, getting ready for school. So it's cool to
Yeah.
be number one. It was definitely more of John's play than my play. I was able to get the ball out there and he did the rest. So it was awesome to see from him. He's a great kid and he works his tail off every day. So it's good to see him make plays.
We've talked a bit in the past about that relationship that you and Skylar have because there's a clear connection there. I mean, this past week, another huge game for him, 14 receptions, 103 yards, and a touchdown. How is that relationship between you two guys just growing and getting even stronger now that we're, 4 games into the season here and you're getting just more and more of those game reps, together?
Yeah, you kind of said it like we're just trying to build that relationship and make it stronger every day. I know he had a good amount of catches, but there's still some. I know after the game we even talked, we're like, man, if we connect on this one or this play here, imagine what we could have been. So out of all the good, we're still looking at these little things that we can clean up, because we still think there's maybe some plays downfield or maybe some different looks that we're getting that we could kind of execute a little bit better. But he's a heck of a player. So I'm always gonna try to get him the ball as much as I can. But we also have some great receivers on the outside. I don't want to just get away from
Yeah.
Skyler, but we just talked about John. Remelo steps up all the time. Shamar. So I think that all kind of ties in together. That's why I bring it up because it's kind of tough to just focus on Skyler when you have so many playmakers out there.
Yeah, definitely. Um, one thing that I noticed during the game, you took off a little bit more with your legs. Is that just how kind of the things broke down there? Or is that a design for you to start running a little bit more?
Sometimes that's just the way it kind of breaks down, and I contrary to belief, I do. I like to run a little bit. Obviously, I'm not going out there and I'm trying to like just run around like I'm Johnny Manziel, but
Yeah.
sometimes that's just the way it happens, and I'm willing to do that, and whatever helps the team win. Honestly, it just happened to be this last game that there was a little bit more running than previous, but it's always something that I'm looking for.
Yeah, you get to get into victory formation, take a couple knees there. Things just feel a little bit better getting back in the win column, get a sigh of relief when all is said and done after that game.
No doubt. Best formation in football is victory. So that's the best play. We got to run it, which was a good feeling. Hopefully it's, the start of, we can kind of get this train rolling now, after 2 tough losses and then getting this win. Now we have a tough task at Buffalo this week.
Yeah. How do you keep the momentum going this week and building off of some of the improved execution and things like that from an offensive standpoint?
I think it's, like I said earlier, there's two sides of everything. Focus on what we did well, build off of that, but then really, watch this film with a critical eye of what we could have done better. Don't just kind of glaze past things just because we got to win. There's always things that we need to improve, um, in both run game and pass game. So don't let the win just kind of allow us to be blind to some of the things that we need to be better at.
Yeah. I want to ask you just a quick thing that I heard Coach Moore mention in the post-game press conference that while some of you guys were all off there celebrating the win, that some of the defensive guys were still pretty pissed. And that was his word that he used, given some of their performance. You feel, just being in the room with these guys that, they're not taking, these, some of the defensive performances lightly and they're really, really putting in that work to take the defense back to the next step.
Yeah, they're a determined group, especially right now. They feel obviously kind of goes back. It's good to get a win. They feel good about the win, but they're really, just watching closely of what they can be better, what they can do better at, and whether that's getting more turnovers. Obviously, I'm not over there. I don't want to
Yeah.
speak for them, and I got full trust in them and what they're going to do because I know the guys over there like Damon. They got great leadership over there. Damon, Brian, guys that are just, willing to do whatever it takes for the team. So um, I'm glad that they're on my team. They're they're an aggressive group. They're going to play well. And I know that they're going to get a stop when we need it to. And we're just going to play team football and
Yeah.
go get a win.
All right. We'll wrap with just a couple fun ones. We haven't really done too many of the random get to know Joe a little bit more of these. What's the song going through the headphones pregame for you that your go-to?
My go-to, usually it's Run This Town.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that's usually my go-to. But I got a variety of things. Sometimes it's just country. I'm just
Oh,
listening to country music. Sometimes, I got a big variety. But I'd say that's my most played for sure. Run This Town.
all right. Who's your favorite country artist?
My favorite country, Luke Combs.
All right, that's a
Yeah,
good choice there.
yeah.
Um, what's the so this game 3:30? What's the pregame meal of choice?
Same thing every time. I get steak, I get Caesar salad, and then I get a little bit of Alfredo pasta.
Okay, and then
Same thing every time.
what's what's postgame look like?
Post game, it varies. Usually at home, I go get, or like at a home game, I'll go get some pizza. Frank Pepe's usually it's my
Okay,
go-to. Um, yeah. So for home away games, it's whatever they're getting us, but home games, that's my go-to.
go to. All right. Hey, well, let's get to know Joe a little bit better off the field. But Joe, I really appreciate it. I know we're talking, and I'll give you one more. I lied. I know it's we're talking a little earlier than we normally do, but have you started to take a look at Buffalo, or are you still just kind of breaking down the weekend?
Yeah. No. Kind of a preliminary look, if you will. But yeah, we started to watch a little bit. It's still early in the week, but I'm always trying to get ahead of the game and jump on the next opponent as fast as I can, win or lose. But they're good defense. I'm pretty sure they lead the country in sacks.
Okay.
So they got some good players over there. As always, it's going to be a tough task, but we're excited for the challenge, and it's going to be tough, especially going to their place. We got to get a win on the road.
Yeah. Well, awesome, Joe. I appreciate it. Good luck up in Buffalo. Keep carrying this momentum from the win on Saturday. I know everyone's pulling for you guys, and hopefully we'll come back another win and get ready for another game at the Rent. So thanks again, Joe. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Jared.